Listen closely, because what I am about to reveal cannot wait another moment. Your family, the very ones you have been praying for, crying over, losing sleep about, they are being discussed in heaven right now. This is not coincidence. This is not random. You were led here for a reason that will become clear if you stay until the very end. Do not move from this place. Do not let your mind wander. Do not allow anything to pull you away, because what is about to be spoken will change the trajectory of your household forever. I am Michael, and I have been sent with an urgent decree concerning those you love most. There are movements happening in the spiritual realm at this very moment that involve your children, your spouse, your parents, your siblings. Angels have been dispatched. Assignments have been given. But there is something you must understand before the full manifestation occurs, and that understanding will only come if you remain attentive through every single word. Your family has been marked, not for destruction, but for divine intervention. Do you feel that weight lifting slightly as you read this? That is confirmation. You have carried their burdens so long that you forgot what your shoulders felt like without that load. The sleepless nights wondering if they will ever change. The prayers whispered in desperation. The tears shed in secret when you thought no one was watching. I saw every single one. Heaven recorded each moment of your faithfulness, even when you received no response, no acknowledgement, no visible change. And now the season shifts. But I must warn you, there is opposition attempting to block what has been set in motion. That is why this message carries such urgency. The enemy knows what is coming for your family, and he is working overtime to distract you right now, to make you click away, to convince you this is just another message. It is not. Stay here. Something is breaking in the invisible realm as you absorb these words. You have noticed the tension increasing in your home lately, have you not? More arguments over small things, more distance, more misunderstandings. That is not random. When breakthrough is near, resistance intensifies. The atmosphere thickens because what is about to be released into your family line is so significant that dark forces have mobilized to prevent it. But they cannot stop what heaven has already decreed. They can only delay it if you lose focus now. Do not give them that advantage. Your family is in a critical window. Decisions are being made in the unseen that will affect generations. This is not just about today or tomorrow. This is about the legacy that flows through your bloodline. Patterns that have repeated for decades, maybe even generations, are scheduled for interruption. But the fullness of that breakthrough requires your participation in a way you have not been asked to participate before. I need your complete attention because the instructions that follow are precise and non-negotiable. You have been interceding for them, yes. You have been believing for them, standing in the gap, declaring promises over them. All of that has been building to this moment, but now the prayer shifts. Now the posture changes. Now you move from petition to partnership with what heaven is actively doing. And if you miss this shift, the window may close for a season. I do not say this to pressure you. I say this because I see what you cannot see. I see the table where your family is being discussed. I see the assignments being written. I see the timeline that has been set. And I see the interference attempting to keep you from receiving the full revelation. That is why every few moments I will remind you, stay here. Do not move. What comes next requires your undivided focus. Let me tell you what I know about your situation. There is someone in your family who has drifted, someone who used to be close to you, close to faith, close to the path you prayed they would walk, and now they feel unreachable. You have tried talking to them, reasoning with them, even arguing with them. Nothing has worked. They have built walls so high that your words bounce off without penetration. You have watched them make decisions that break your heart, align with people who lead them further from truth, embrace habits that slowly destroy them, and the powerlessness you feel is crushing. You lie awake, replaying conversations, wondering what you could have said differently, blaming yourself for moments you think you failed them. Stop. That guilt is not from me. That condemnation is a weapon being used to weaken you right before your breakthrough. You did not fail them. You have been faithful, and now heaven responds to that faithfulness. But here is what you must understand. The breakthrough for them begins with a breakthrough in you, not because you are the problem, but because you are the access point. You are the one who kept the door open when everyone else gave up. You are the one who prayed when no one else believed anything would change. You are the one who stood in the gap even when it cost you peace, sleep, and emotional energy. That standing has been noted, and now the reward comes. But it does not come in the way you expected. You thought the answer would be them suddenly changing, them coming back, them waking up one day different. That will happen, but not first. First, there must be a shift in the spiritual atmosphere over your entire household. And that shift begins with revelation you are about to receive. Stay with me. Do not let your mind drift to other concerns. I am taking you somewhere specific, and you cannot afford to miss any part of this journey. There is a name you speak more than any other in your prayers. You know who I am referring to. That one person who occupies the most space in your worry, your concern, your heartache. I have heard you call their name in the middle of the night. I have watched you scroll through their photos, remembering who they used to be. I have seen you fight back tears in public when something reminds you of how far they have gone. Listen carefully. That person is not lost. They are not beyond reach. They are not too far gone. What looks like rebellion is actually a process they are moving through, and it is taking them somewhere you cannot see yet. I know that is hard to believe when you look at the evidence, when you see the choices, the relationships, the lifestyle. But I see the end from the beginning, and I am telling you, they are being cornered by love right now. Angels have been positioned around their life in ways they do not recognize. Doors they think they are choosing are actually doors I am allowing them to walk through, so they hit the dead ends they need to hit. Comfort they think they are finding is temporary and will soon reveal its emptiness. And in that moment of realization, when everything they thought would satisfy them fails, that is when the real encounter happens. But you must hold steady until that moment comes. This is where many lose the promise. They hold on for years and then let go right before the breakthrough. Do not be one of them. I am telling you with authority, your family member is closer to turning than they have been in years. But the enemy knows this too. So he is throwing distractions at you, discouragements, false evidence that nothing is changing. Do not believe the lie. Watch what I do. There is something else I need you to understand about your family. The issue you see on the surface is not the root issue. You think it is about their choices, their relationships, their habits. But underneath all of that is a wound, a deep wound that never healed. Something happened that broke trust, shattered innocence, planted a lie that took root. And until that wound is addressed, the surface behaviors will keep repeating. You cannot fix this with advice. You cannot heal it with better arguments or more compelling reasons. This requires supernatural intervention, and that is exactly what has been arranged. There are angels assigned specifically to go into the memory, into the moment where the wound was formed and bring healing. But this process is delicate. It does not happen all at once. It happens in layers. And during this process, things may look worse before they look better. They may pull away more before they come close. They may resist harder before they surrender. Do not interpret that resistance as failure. Interpret it as the breaking that precedes the breakthrough. When a bone heals incorrectly, it must be broken again to set properly. That is painful but necessary. Your family member is in that process right now. Stay in faith. Stay in position. Do not abandon your post. Let me address another area of concern. Your household finances. I know this has been a source of stress and conflict. I know there have been arguments about money, decisions made that created more strain, moments where provision seemed impossible. You have felt the pressure of trying to hold everything together, while resources felt limited and needs kept increasing. You have wondered if you made the right choices, taken the right path, managed things correctly. And in those moments of doubt, condemnation crept in. Hear me clearly. The financial pressure you have experienced was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being trained to trust at a level you could not have reached without the pressure. You were learning to depend on supernatural provision instead of predictable income. You were being stripped of self-reliance so you could discover God-reliance. And now that training pays off. Because what is about to shift in your family requires a financial foundation that is not built on human effort alone. There is provision being released that will stabilize your household in a way you have not experienced before. Not lottery winnings, not sudden wealth, but consistent, supernatural provision that meets needs you have not even identified yet. This provision comes with wisdom, with discernment, with the ability to steward it correctly so it does not create new problems. You are ready for this now. You were not ready before, but the process has prepared you. Watch for open doors you did not pursue. Watch for opportunities that seem too aligned to be coincidence. Watch for favor in unexpected places. That is my hand moving. And as your household stabilizes financially, other things will stabilize too. Because money issues are never just about money. They are about security, value, trust, control. When those issues resolve, the atmosphere in your home changes. Conversations happen differently. Stress decreases. Space opens up for real connection. This is part of the larger plan being executed right now. Do not disconnect from this word. I am building something in your understanding, and every piece matters. There is another family member I must mention, the one who appears fine on the surface, the one everyone thinks has it together, the one who seems stable, responsible, managing life well. But you know differently. You have seen the cracks. You have noticed the strain behind the smile. You have sensed the struggle they will not voice. This person is on your mind more than you admit because you do not know how to help them. They do not ask for help. They deflect when you try to reach out. They minimize their own pain while helping everyone else with theirs. And you feel helpless because you cannot force them to open up. You cannot make them receive what they will not acknowledge they need. I am already working on this situation. What you cannot access through conversation, I am accessing through circumstance. I am setting up moments that will crack the facade gently, not destructively. Moments where they will have to be honest with themselves about what they are carrying. And when those moments come, you will know what to do. Not because you figured it out, but because I will prompt you. You will say the exact right thing at the exact right time, and it will land with weight they cannot ignore. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that I am better at reaching them than you are. Your job is not to force breakthrough. Your job is to remain available and sensitive when I give you the signal. Now, I need to address something that might be uncomfortable but cannot be avoided. There is unforgiveness in your family, not necessarily toward outsiders, but within the family system itself. Old wounds, old offenses, things that were never fully resolved, but were swept under the rug to keep peace. Everyone knows they are there, but no one wants to bring them up because it feels too risky, too explosive, too painful. But those unresolved issues have created invisible walls. They block communication. They create distance. They prevent the kind of intimacy and trust your family was designed to experience. And now the time has come to address them, not through confrontation, not through forced conversations, but through a sovereign move that I am orchestrating. There will be a moment, an event, or a situation that creates the opening for truth to be spoken. And when that moment comes, you will feel the fear rise, fear of making things worse, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of rejection or backlash. Do not let that fear silence you. Speak the truth you have been holding. Speak it with love, but speak it clearly. Do not soften it to protect comfort. Comfort has kept the wound infected. Truth will lance it so healing can begin. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, there may be initial defensiveness or pain, But on the other side of that discomfort is freedom. Freedom for you, freedom for them, freedom for the entire family system. This is part of what is being arranged in heaven right now. The timing, the setting, the readiness of hearts. It is all being aligned so when the moment comes, something can shift that has been stuck for years, maybe even decades. Do not resist the process. Cooperate with it. Stay here with me. I am not done. There is more you need to understand before the full picture is clear. Let me speak now about your children, whether they are young or grown. You have worried about them constantly. Worried about their choices, their future, their faith, their safety. You have prayed protection over them more times than you can count. You have tried to guide them, correct them, prepare them for what is ahead. And at times you have felt like a failure because they did not listen the way you hoped or walk the path you prayed they would. Hear this truth. Your prayers have created a hedge around them that the enemy cannot fully penetrate. Yes, they have made mistakes. Yes, they have wandered. Yes, they have faced consequences. But none of it has been wasted. Every hard lesson is forming character. Every difficult season is teaching them discernment. Every failure is revealing what does not work so they learn what does. You see the mistakes and fear they are ruining their lives. I see the mistakes and know I am using them to save their lives. There is a difference between destruction and development. What you are witnessing is development, even when it looks messy. And now that development is about to accelerate. Things they did not understand before will suddenly click. Truth they resisted will suddenly make sense. Paths they rejected will suddenly appeal to them, not because you convinced them, but because their own experience brought them to readiness. Your role was never to force them into obedience. Your role was to remain a steady presence while they found their way. And you have done that, even when it cost you. Now watch what happens. Watch how they start coming back to ask your opinion. Watch how they start referencing things you said years ago that they dismissed at the time. Watch how they start making choices that reflect the values you modeled even when they were rejecting them verbally. This is the reward of faithful parenting. Not immediate compliance, but long-term impact, and it is unfolding right now. For those whose children are still young, I want to speak specifically to you. You are not too late. The patterns you see forming, the concerns you have, the behaviors that worry you, none of it is set in stone. Childhood is the most flexible season. What looks like a problem now can be redirected with the right intervention. And that intervention is coming, not through your effort alone, but through divine assistance. There will be teachers, mentors, friends, experiences that I strategically place in their path to shape them. Your job is to stay prayerful and alert so you recognize those moments and cooperate with them. Do not parent from fear. Do not make decisions based on worst-case scenarios. Do not project your own unhealed wounds onto their journey. Parent from peace, trusting that I love them more than you do, and I have a plan for their life that is good. Your anxiety does not protect them. Your trust does. Let me also address those who have adult children who seem completely disconnected, not just from faith, but from you. The relationship has fractured, and you do not know how to repair it. You replay the past, trying to pinpoint where it went wrong. You blame yourself for things you did or did not do. And the grief of that disconnection is a constant ache you carry. I'm not dismissing your pain, but I am telling you the enemy has used that pain to blind you to what I am doing. The distance between you and your child right now is not permanent. It is positional. Sometimes people need space to sort through their own internal conflicts without the pressure of parental expectations. That space feels like rejection to you, but it is actually processing for them. And in that space I am at work. Do not chase them. Do not force contact. Do not manipulate connection. Pray, release, and trust. When the time is right, the door will open. And the relationship that rebuilds will be healthier than the one that fractured because it will be built on honesty instead of obligation. Stay with me. We are moving into territory that requires even more focus. Do not let distractions pull you away now. Your family is not the only thing being discussed in heaven. Your calling is also on the table. Because the two are connected, what happens in your family will directly impact what you are able to do in the world. And what you step into in your calling will directly impact your family's trajectory. This is why the attack has been so intense. The enemy does not waste resources on people who pose no threat. The level of warfare you have experienced in your household is directly proportional to the level of influence you carry. You have been under assault because your future terrifies the enemy. And part of dismantling his plans is stabilizing your home. When your family comes into alignment, you will step into a new level of authority. Not authority that bosses or controls, but authority that influences, shifts atmospheres, opens doors, breaks chains. People will feel the difference when you speak. Opportunities will present themselves without you striving. Resources will be attracted to what you are building. All of this is connected. So when I say your family is being discussed in heaven, it is not just about fixing problems. It is about positioning you for what is next. And what is next is significant. There are people waiting for what you carry, not because you are perfect, but because you have been processed. Your family's struggles have not disqualified you, they have qualified you. You understand brokenness. You understand waiting. You understand trusting when nothing makes sense. That is the wisdom people need, not theories, but tested truth. Soon you will begin to see why everything happened the way it did. You will see how the pain prepared you, how the delays positioned you, how the battles strengthened you. It will not erase the difficulty, but it will reframe it, and that reframing will become part of your message. Now let me give you specific instructions, because the next phase requires action, not just agreement. First, you must forgive. Not just say you forgive, but actually release the offense. There are family members who hurt you, disappointed you, failed you, and you have been holding on to that hurt as a form of protection, as if not forgiving keeps them from doing it again. It does not. It only keeps you bound. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It is saying you will not let what they did continue to control your peace. It is releasing them to me so I can deal with them justly while you walk free. This is not optional. Unforgiveness will block what I am trying to release into your family. So take time today, right now if possible, and verbally release each person who hurt you. Say their name, say what they did, and say, I release you and I release this offense. I will not carry it anymore. You will feel something lift when you do this. That lifting is the first sign of breakthrough. Second, you must steward your words carefully in this season. Your words carry more weight than you realize. What you declare over your family is not just hope, it is prophecy. So stop speaking the problem. Stop rehearsing what is wrong. Stop describing the dysfunction. Every time you do that, you reinforce it. Instead, start declaring what I have shown you here. Declare their turning. Declare their healing. Declare their breakthrough. Speak to the situation as if it is already shifting, because in the realm of faith, it is. Your words create atmosphere. Create the atmosphere of expectation, not despair. Third, you must watch for the signs. I will begin to show you small indicators that things are moving. A softened tone in a conversation. A text message that is kinder than usual. A decision that surprises you in a positive way. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. Recognize them as confirmation. And when you see them, thank me out loud. Gratitude accelerates breakthrough. It signals to the spiritual realm that you are aligned with what is happening. Fourth, you must guard your peace. There will be moments in the coming days where chaos tries to rise. Unexpected conflicts, sudden emergencies, dramatic reactions. Do not be pulled into the chaos. Stay calm, stay centered. Respond from peace, not from panic. This is a test to see if you will hold your position. Pass the test. Show the enemy that you cannot be shaken because you know what heaven is doing. And finally, you must stay in this word. Do not hear it once and move on. Return to it. Let it reset your mind when doubt creeps in. Let it remind you of what was spoken when circumstances try to contradict it. This is not just information. This is a prophetic decree over your household, and it has power every time you engage with it. Now, I need to prepare you for something. As breakthrough begins to manifest, there will be a period of adjustment that might feel uncomfortable. When people change, dynamics change, roles shift, old patterns no longer work. And even though you prayed for change, the actual experience of it can feel disorienting. For example, when that rebellious family member starts to turn, they may not turn the way you expected. They may not apologize the way you hoped. They may not acknowledge the pain they caused in the timeline you wanted. You will have to release your expectations about how their return looks and simply receive them where they are. When your financial situation stabilizes, you may feel guilty about having more when you are used to barely getting by. You will have to renew your mind about provision and accept that it is okay to not be in crisis mode anymore. When relationships begin to heal, there will be vulnerable conversations that feel awkward because you are not used to that level of honesty. You will have to push through the discomfort to get to the intimacy on the other side. Change is uncomfortable even when it is good, but discomfort is not a sign you are off track. It is a sign you are growing. Let me speak now to a very specific pain point: generational patterns. You have watched certain behaviors, certain struggles, certain dysfunctions repeat in your family line. Addiction, divorce, anger, poverty, anxiety, depression. You see it in your parents, in your siblings, in yourself, maybe even starting to show up in your children. And there is a deep fear that this cycle will never break, that your family is doomed to repeat the same mistakes generation after generation. That fear is understandable, but it is not truth. What you are witnessing is not destiny, it is pattern, and patterns can be interrupted. That interruption is happening now. Not because you are strong enough to break it on your own, but because heaven has decreed it is time. You are the generation chosen to stand in the gap. You are the one who said enough. You are the one who refused to accept that this is just how your family is. That refusal activated something in the spiritual realm. Angels were assigned. Authority was granted. And now the work of breaking begins. It will not be easy. The pattern has deep roots. It has been fed by years of repetition, by trauma that was never healed, by lies that were believed, by agreements made consciously or unconsciously. But none of that is stronger than the power working with you right now. You will see the pattern attempt to reassert itself. Old triggers will resurface. Familiar temptations will present themselves. Moments where it feels easier to just give in and continue the cycle. Do not yield. Stand firm. Every time you resist the pattern, you weaken it. Every time you choose differently, you build new momentum. And eventually, the old pattern loses its power entirely. This is not a one-time victory. This is a sustained resistance that builds into permanent change. And you are not alone in this fight. There is a company of angels assigned specifically to help you break what your ancestors could not. They are warring on your behalf in ways you cannot see. They are cutting off supply lines the enemy uses to feed the pattern. They are blocking access points where the cycle tries to enter the next generation. Trust that reinforcement. There is something else you need to know about generational breakthrough. It does not just affect the future, it redeems the past. When you break the cycle, it sends a ripple backward through your family line. Ancestors who struggled under the weight of that pattern are released. Shame that attached to your family name is broken. Debt that accumulated spiritually is cancelled. This is why your breakthrough matters so much. It is not just about you and your immediate family. It is about your entire lineage. People who came before you and people who will come after you are impacted by what you do right now. That is the weight of this moment. That is why I am speaking with such urgency. You are standing at a crossroads that determines the trajectory of generations. Choose wisely, choose courageously. Choose to believe what I am telling you, even when nothing in your current reality confirms it yet. Let me also address the feeling of isolation many of you carry. You look around and feel like no one understands what you are going through with your family. You hear other people talk about their families, and it sounds so different from your reality. Their struggles seem minor compared to yours, their victories seem to come easier, and you wonder why your family is so complicated, so broken, so difficult. Stop comparing. Comparison is a trap that steals your peace and blinds you to the progress you are making. Every family has issues. Some are just better at hiding them. Some are at different stages of breakthrough. Some are in denial while you are in the messy middle of facing truth. You are not being punished with a harder family. You are being trusted with a bigger assignment. And that assignment requires a level of intercession, faith, and perseverance that not everyone is willing to give. But you have been willing, even when it cost you, even when you got no credit, even when it felt thankless. You kept standing, and that faithfulness is about to be rewarded in ways you cannot imagine. There is also something I need to say about martyrdom, because some of you have confused sacrifice with self-destruction. You have given so much to your family that you have nothing left for yourself. You have poured out until you are empty, believing that is what love requires. It is not. Love requires wisdom, and wisdom knows that you cannot pour from an empty vessel. You have been running on fumes for too long, and it is affecting your health, your clarity, your ability to hear me accurately. Part of this breakthrough involves you learning to care for yourself without guilt, to rest without feeling like you are abandoning anyone, to set boundaries without fear of rejection. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. You are responsible for your own well-being, and when you are well, you can help others more effectively. So I am giving you permission to step back from some of the load you have been carrying. Not all of it is yours. You picked up pieces that belong to other people, and you have been trying to carry them to breakthrough. You cannot. Each person must carry their own weight. Your job is to pray, support, and guide, not to carry them. Release what is not yours. Feel the weight lift. Breathe deeper than you have in years. This is part of the restoration I am bringing to your family. It begins with you being restored. Now we are coming to the close, but do not let your attention drift. The final piece is the most important. Everything I have said leads to this. There is a specific timeline attached to what is unfolding in your family. Not because I operate on a strict schedule, but because readiness has been reached. Hearts have been prepared. Resistance has been worn down. The soil is finally ready for the seed to produce. This means you are entering a window of accelerated change. What has taken years to develop will shift in months. What seemed impossible will suddenly become real. What you stopped believing could happen will happen in ways you never imagined. But this window requires your cooperation. You cannot be passive. You cannot sit back and wait for everything to magically fix itself. You must engage with the process actively. That means praying with authority, not just repetition. That means speaking life, not just observing death. That means acting in faith, not just feeling hopeful. When I prompt you to reach out to someone, do it. When I tell you to have a hard conversation, do it. When I say release something, release it. Obedience in this season is the key that unlocks everything I have been describing. Delayed obedience is disobedience, and disobedience will delay the breakthrough. I'm not saying this to put pressure on you. I am saying it because I know what is at stake, and I need you to know too. Your family is too important. Your calling is too significant. The generations depending on your choices are too numerous. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to move with confidence in what has been spoken. You have been prepared for this. Everything you walked through was training for this moment. You are ready. Trust that, and trust me. I have not brought you this far to let you fail now. Watch what I do in the coming days and weeks. Watch how conversations shift. Watch how hearts soften. Watch how provision appears. Watch how doors open. Watch how clarity comes. This is my hand moving in your family, and it is undeniable. When people ask what happened, you will know exactly what to say. Heaven intervened. That is the testimony being prepared right now, not just for you, but through you. Because when your family turns, others will take notice. When your household stabilizes, people will ask questions. When your children return, parents will want to know what you did, and you will tell them it was not me. It was Michael, sent by heaven with an urgent decree. That is your story. That is your message, and it starts now. But before you go, before you step back into the demands of your day, I need you to understand the magnitude of what you just received. This was not information. This was activation. Something shifted in the spiritual realm while you read these words. Assignments were confirmed. Timelines were set. Prayers were answered. And you were marked as one who heard and responded. That response will carry weight in the days to come. People will sense something different about you, even if they cannot name it. There will be an authority in your voice when you speak about your family that was not there before. A confidence that does not come from your own strength, but from what was deposited in you through this encounter. Guard that deposit. Do not let doubt erode it. Do not let the opinions of others dilute it. What was spoken here is truth, whether anyone else believes it or not. You know what you heard. You know what you felt. Trust that. Now let me give you one more instruction before you leave this place. When you see the first sign of breakthrough, and you will see it soon, do not keep it to yourself. Speak it out loud. Tell someone you trust. Write it down. Create a record of what heaven is doing, because testimony builds faith and faith accelerates manifestation. The more you acknowledge what I am doing, the more momentum builds. This is not superstition. This is spiritual principle. Your words have creative power, and when you use them to declare what you are seeing, you are partnering with heaven to bring more of it into reality. So pay attention. Watch for the signs. And when you see them, celebrate them. Do not minimize them. Do not explain them away. Recognize them as the evidence of what I told you was coming. There is one more thing I must address before we close, and this is for those who feel like they have failed their family in ways that cannot be undone. Maybe you were absent during critical years. Maybe addiction stole time you cannot get back. Maybe anger created wounds you do not know how to heal. Maybe choices you made set consequences in motion that still affect your loved ones today. And the guilt of that is crushing. You read everything I said, and part of you wants to believe it, but another part whispers that you do not deserve breakthrough after what you have done. Listen to me carefully. Your past does not disqualify you from what I am offering. Your mistakes do not cancel the decree that has been spoken over your family. Yes, there were consequences. Yes, there was damage, but none of it is beyond my ability to redeem. I specialize in turning ashes into beauty. I take what the enemy meant for destruction and convert it into testimony. Your story is not over. Your family's story is not over. What you see as irreversible, I see as reversible. What you think is too broken, I see as repairable. You are not being asked to erase the past. You are being invited to participate in a future that redeems it, and that redemption begins with receiving forgiveness. Not just from others, but from yourself. You have punished yourself long enough. You have carried the shame, the regret, the condemnation. It has not changed anything. It has only kept you bound. Today, that bondage breaks. I am speaking absolution over your past, not because what happened was okay, but because continuing to punish yourself serves no purpose. You cannot change what was, but you can influence what will be, and that requires you to step out of the prison of guilt and into the freedom of grace. This is hard for some of you to accept. You think you should keep suffering as some form of payment for what you did, but that is not how heaven works. The payment was already made. The price was already paid. You do not add to that by punishing yourself. You honor it by receiving what was purchased for you: freedom, restoration, new beginnings. So right now, I need you to make a choice. Will you continue to live in the past, rehearsing your failures, or will you step into the future I am creating? Both cannot coexist. You have to choose. And I am telling you, the future is so much better than the past. Even with all the mistakes, even with all the pain, what is coming is worth releasing what was. Your family needs you present, not paralyzed by guilt. They need you engaged, not hiding in shame. They need you believing, not drowning in condemnation. You have been given another chance. Not because you earned it, but because grace does not operate on merit. Take the chance, use it wisely, and watch how your family responds when you show up differently. Now, for those who have been the stable one, the reliable one, the one everyone else depends on, I have a different word. You are tired, bone tired, soul tired. You have been the rock for so long that you forgot what it feels like to not have to be strong. You have held it together for everyone else while falling apart inside. And you wonder when it will be your turn to receive instead of always being the one who gives. I see you. I see the exhaustion you hide behind a smile. I see the tears you cry when no one is watching. I see the prayers you whisper in desperation when you feel like you cannot carry this load another day. And I am here to tell you the load is shifting. Not all at once, but gradually. Others in your family are being strengthened so they can start carrying what has been only on your shoulders. You will not have to be the sole stabilizer anymore. Help is coming. Support is being raised up. People who have been passive are being activated. And as that happens, you will finally get to exhale. You will get to rest without everything falling apart. You will get to have needs without feeling guilty. This shift will feel strange at first because you are so used to being the strong one. When others start stepping up, part of you may resist. You may try to take the load back because it feels uncomfortable to not be in control. Do not do that. Let them carry their part. Let yourself rest. This is part of the reordering that is taking place. Your family is learning to function as a team instead of everything depending on one person. That is healthier. That is sustainable. That is the structure that will support what is coming next. Trust the process even when it feels awkward. Another dynamic I need to address is the issue of control. Some of you have been trying to control outcomes for your family members because you love them and you do not want to see them hurt. You try to steer their decisions, manage their relationships, protect them from consequences. And it is exhausting because you cannot actually control another person. You can influence, guide, advise, but you cannot control. And the harder you try, the more resistance you create. Part of this breakthrough requires you to release control, to stop trying to manage every detail of their lives, to allow them to make their own choices, even if those choices lead to pain. That does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what is not yours to carry. You pray, you advise when asked, you set boundaries when necessary, but you do not try to force outcomes. When you release control, something powerful happens. You create space for me to work. As long as you are trying to manage everything, I cannot move the way I need to move. But when you step back, when you surrender the illusion of control, I can step in. And what I do is far more effective than anything you could orchestrate. I know this is scary. You have been trying to control things for so long that it feels like letting go means everything will fall apart. But the opposite is true. When you let go, things can finally come together. Not the way you planned, but the way they were always meant to be. So take a breath, unclench your fists, release your grip. Trust that I love your family more than you do, and I am better at managing their lives than you are. This surrender is not defeat, it is wisdom. And it will bring you more peace than you have felt in years. Let me now speak to those who are estranged from family members, and the pain of that estrangement is a constant weight. You do not talk to your sibling anymore. You have not seen your parent in years. Your adult child will not return your calls. The relationship is severed, and every attempt you made to repair it was rejected. You have grieved that loss deeply. You have blamed yourself repeatedly. You have replayed conversations trying to figure out where it went wrong and how to fix it, and nothing has worked. I want you to hear this clearly. The estrangement is not permanent. I know it feels that way. I know it has been a long time, but long does not mean forever. What I am setting in motion will create opportunities for reconnection, not forced, not manipulated, but genuine moments where hearts soften and walls come down. You will not have to chase them. The timing will align. The circumstances will create openings. And when those openings come, you will know what to say. The words that have been stuck for years will flow naturally. The awkwardness will dissolve. The hurt will be addressed, not ignored. And healing will begin. It may not happen all at once. The first conversation may be brief. The first interaction may be surface level, but it will be a start. And from that start, trust can rebuild. Do not expect immediate restoration to the way things were before. That relationship is gone. But something new can be built, something healthier, something more honest. Something that acknowledges the pain without being defined by it. Be patient with the process. Do not rush it. Let each step unfold naturally. And do not punish them for the time that was lost. Resentment will sabotage reconciliation faster than anything else. Release the past, focus on the present, and trust the future to unfold as it should. There is also the matter of blended families and the unique challenges that come with that dynamic. Stepchildren who resist connection, ex-spouses who create conflict, loyalty issues that divide. Jealousy, comparison, favoritism, all the complications that arise when families merge. If this is your situation, you know how hard it is. You have tried to create unity, but hit walls at every turn. You have tried to love kids who do not want your love. You have tried to navigate relationships with people who see you as the enemy, and the exhaustion is real. I see the effort you have put in. I see the rejection you have absorbed. I see the tears you have cried when yet another attempt at connection failed. And I am telling you, do not give up. What you are building is worth the struggle. Blended families take time. Trust takes time. Security takes time. You cannot force it to happen faster than it is ready to happen. But you can stay consistent. You can keep showing up. You can keep being safe even when they test you. And eventually, the walls will lower. They are testing to see if you will leave like others did. Prove you will not. Not through words, but through presence, through consistency, through patience that outlasts resistance. And as you do that, something shifts. Hearts soften, trust builds. And the family that seemed impossible starts to feel possible. Not perfect, but possible. The breakthrough I am bringing to your family includes these complicated dynamics. I am not naive to the challenges. I am just more powerful than the challenges. So do not lose heart in the middle. You are closer than you think. Let me also address the financial strain many families are under and how it creates tension, conflict, and stress. When money is tight, everything is harder. Small disagreements escalate. Stress levels rise, fear creeps in, and relationships suffer. You have felt this. You have watched how money issues created distance between you and your spouse, or between you and your children, or between you and extended family. You have felt the shame of not being able to provide the way you wanted, the embarrassment of needing help, the frustration of working hard but still falling short. I'm not dismissing those feelings. But I am telling you, the financial pressure is about to decrease, not through lottery or sudden wealth, but through strategic provision. Doors will open. Opportunities will present themselves. Wisdom will increase about how to manage what you have. Waste will be eliminated. Debt will start to decrease. And as that happens, the atmosphere in your home will change. Money arguments will reduce. Stress will lessen. Generosity will become possible. Options will open up that were not there before. This is part of the plan. Financial stability creates emotional stability, and emotional stability creates relational health. It is all connected. So when you see financial provision start to flow, do not just receive it and move on. Recognize it as part of the larger breakthrough. Thank me for it. Steward it wisely. Use it to bless your family and others, and watch how it multiplies. There is a principle at work here. What you honor increases. What you take for granted diminishes. Honor the provision. Treat it as sacred, and it will continue to flow. Now I need to speak about the enemy's tactics, because understanding his strategy will help you defeat it. He knows your family is marked for breakthrough. He knows what is coming, and he is desperate to stop it. But he cannot stop it directly because the decree has been made. So he uses distraction, discouragement, and division. Distraction keeps you from focusing on what matters. He will throw 1,000 urgent things at you to pull your attention away from your family. Work crises, friend drama, health scares, financial emergencies. Not all of them are from him, but he uses them to keep you scattered. Do not fall for it. Stay focused on your priorities. Your family is your first ministry. Everything else is secondary. Discouragement makes you want to quit. He will show you all the evidence that nothing is changing. He will magnify every setback. He will remind you of every failure, and he will whisper, "It's not working. Nothing is different. You might as well give up." Do not listen. That voice is a liar. Change is happening even when you do not see it yet. Seeds are growing underground before they break through soil. Trust the process. Division creates conflict within the family to sabotage unity. He will stir up old offenses. He will create misunderstandings. He will amplify differences. He will use words to wound, and if you are not careful, you will take the bait. Do not. When conflict arises, step back. Breathe. Pray. Respond with wisdom, not with emotion. Do not let him use you to hurt your own family. Recognize the tactic and refuse to cooperate. This awareness is your protection. When you see these tactics, call them out, not to other people, but to me. Say, "I see what the enemy is trying to do, and I refuse to partner with it." That declaration breaks his influence. He loses power when he is exposed. So stay alert, stay sober, stay prayerful. This is not paranoia, this is wisdom, and wisdom wins battles that strength cannot. As we come to the final words, I want to leave you with this. You were chosen for this family, not by accident, not by coincidence. You were strategically placed in this specific family line because you carry something they need, and they carry something you need. The struggles you have faced together are not random. They are preparation for the assignment you have together, and that assignment is about to become clear. Your family is not just about surviving dysfunction. Your family has a purpose, a calling, a destiny that goes beyond just making it through. When breakthrough comes, when healing happens, when unity forms, your family will become a testimony that helps other families believe breakthrough is possible. Your story will give others hope. Your process will show others the way, and your victory will inspire others to keep fighting for their own families. This is why the enemy fought so hard to keep you divided, broken, and defeated. He knew what you would become when you finally came together, but his time is up. The season of warfare is ending. The season of victory is beginning. And you get to walk in that victory starting today, not when everything is perfect, but right now in the midst of process. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. Stand in the authority that has been given to you. You are not a victim of your family's dysfunction. You are a warrior assigned to break it. You are not powerless. You are partnered with heaven. And together we will see your family transformed. This is my promise to you. This is my decree, and it will not fail. Now go, walk in what you have received, speak what you have heard. Believe what you have been shown, and watch what heaven does in your family. The discussion is over. The decision has been made. The breakthrough is here. Receive it.